Hi, this is Mike from Challenge Island, Oakland County East, back with our Steamtastic Friday. We're in the middle of our car series right now on Challenge Island, which is one of my favorites. And so over the last few weeks, we've talked about the science, technology, and engineering that goes into cars, which there is a lot of in every car design. Today, we're going to hit the A in STEAM, which is the art. So art is also an incredibly important part of car design. So lots of great ideas for cars come from a lot of different places to get the cool art or the cool appearance of the car. So today we'll just talk about a few of those ideas for where cars get their inspiration from. So we'll talk about fashion, history, nature, technology, and finally a fun architecture example I'd like to show you. So first, in terms of fashion brands, fancy things in the world, so pieces of clothing, boots, purses, shoes have all been used to get ideas for designs for cars in the past. For example, here's one. This is called the Bugatti Chiron Hermes design. So this was a special design where Bugatti, which is a car manufacturer out of Italy, teamed up with Hermes, who is a French fashion designer, to create this cool design. So first, before I show you the car, let me show you the fashion brand. So here's some of the designs that Hermes is known for. So you can see we've got a fancy white purse down here. We've got a fancy high top shoe. So if we look at these, so pretty plain, solid, but nice colors with little splashes of other colors in there. So little decorations as they go. So if we look at the car design they based off of this, if you look here, you can kind of see some of those similar themes there. So we've got a very white design with some special colors in between there, whether it's the grill of the car. You can see that big front grill kind of looks like a piece of jewelry in the front of it. You can see the inside is really fancy as well. So this is just one example of where a fashion brand helped to inspire and give some car designers some new ideas. All right, next one we'll talk about is the Chevy Corvette. So a Chevy Corvette is a great example of history helping to play into car designs. So if we take a look here, the Chevy Corvette has been around since about 1953. The very first Chevy Corvette is the one down here on the lower left. So if we count up, this is what they call the C1, then the C2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this isn't all of them, but these are a few of the big changes of the Corvette over history. And if you look close, if you compare some of the newer ones to some of the older ones, you can see where they've gotten some ideas from their history. So for example, if we take a look at the shape of the side window, you can see that shape is pretty similar on several of these cars. Also, if you look at the front, there's a vent design. So sometimes the vents go up and down, sometimes they're a little bit sideways, but on most of the cars, there's a similar kind of design to that, so that theme kind of goes through. So history is a great place to get ideas for car designs, especially if it's from the history of a popular car people liked. It's fun to bring that back, so when someone sees the new car, they can think, oh, that looks a lot like that other car I really liked, so it makes the new car even more popular. All right, another place we can get ideas from is from nature. So it could be animals, could be plants, all kinds of things like that. So here's an example. This is from the Plymouth Barracuda. So first, if we look at the car design for a second, if you look at the front of this car, you can see it's got what we call a pretty aggressive design on the front of it. So it almost looks like kind of like a shark or like an animal's going to reach out and maybe bite something, like it's ready to eat whatever's in front of it on the road. So if we look over here, if we look at the Barracuda, we can get a hint of maybe where they got some of that design idea from. Because if we look at the front of a Barracuda, it also has a very aggressive front to it. So the design of those teeth in that mouth kind of inspired the front end of this car back when Plymouth designed that. All right, we'll hit two more really quick. Next one I wanted to show you was the role of technology. So as new technological advances come along, that opens up all new kinds of possibilities for what the car design could look like. So this example here, this is the 2020 Byton M-Byte. This is a new car coming out of China. So one thing they took advantage of is video screens. So video screens have gotten a lot more popular, a lot easier to put into cars these days. So if we look at this design, this entire whole front of the inside of the car is just one big screen. So 10 or 20 years ago, before they could make screens this big, the car designers wouldn't have been able to do this. But thanks to the technology allowing for that, now these car designers could take advantage of that and create a whole new look to the inside of the car. All right, then the last one I wanted to show you is kind of an example of going the other way. So here's where a car actually inspired something different, actually inspired some architecture. So this, if you look really close here, at first glance it looks like a car, but if you look really close, you'll realize this is actually somebody's house. So somebody took a car design, maybe that was like a Volkswagen Beetle, looks like maybe where they got this idea from, and turned it into a house. So you can see some of the windows became the headlights. The front grille turned into a front porch for the house. If you could see inside, there's an upstairs and downstairs to fill up the space on the inside. So we can go the other way too. We can take car designs and use those to inspire the art of architecture or fashion or things like that. All right, one last thing I wanted to mention quick. If you're interested in learning more about some of the great places car designers get their inspiration from, we have an exhibit going on here in Detroit, if you're anywhere in this local area here, currently going on at the Detroit Institute of Arts in downtown Detroit. It's there until January 9th of 2022, and it's called Detroit Style Car Design in the Motor City from 1950 to 2020. So this exhibit goes through 70 years of car designs. They've got 12 actual vehicles there, and they'll show you where those vehicles got their ideas from, either from sky, from aircraft, from young people, from nature, all those kinds of places. You'll see some really cool examples of each of those. So again, if you're interested in art and cars and how those go together, please check out that exhibit if you're in the Detroit area, or even if you're not, please go ahead and try taking some of those ideas we talked about today. So nature and fashion, colors, have some fun and see what kind of cars you can design using some of those for inspiration. All right, with that, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again next time.